Okay, so powerlifting chains, what are they? What do they do? Why do powerlifters use them? And how does it make you strong? So, powerlifting chains were used first by Eastern Bloc and Russian competitors, and then it was made more famous by Louis Simmons, who brought it into the Westside Barbell method and called it accommodating resistance, which all that means is that as the load increases, as the load raises up, that the load increases, right? So obviously, if you look at the videos I'm about to show you, the chains, when the bar is at the bottom of the lift, all the chains are piled on the floor, so the weight of those chains are no longer on your frame, right? And then when you lift up the bar, the weight of the chains engages, and you're lifting the weight of the chains too. So that's called accommodating resistance. And then what it does is it sort of trains your nervous system to handle those heavier loads. And this is a great, what's called supra-maximal training method, which means at the top, it's actually more than your 1 rep max. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But that's sort of what it does. It trains you to handle extremely heavy weights without really handling heavy weights throughout the entire lift. Anyways, let's get on with how to actually use these things. So the setup is important here. When you're setting up these chains, it's important to, regardless of the lift, any of the barbell lifts, to have the chains, all of the weight of the chains off of the floor at the top of the lift. And then at the bottom of the lift, when the bar is at its lowest point, all of the chains, or all the weight of the chains, is supported by the floor. So it's no longer on the bar, okay? Remember, on a deadlift, you are starting at the bottom. So all of the weight is going to be on the floor at first, and then as you lift, it's going to be off of the floor. Now, setting up the chains for the different lifts matters. It's pretty simple once you know how to do it. But essentially, whatever chain I was using for squat, that is the perfect connector chain, by the way. The connector chain is what I'm talking about. When it's set up for squat, I just have it put onto the bar. Then when you're doing a bench press, obviously the bar is lower. So that means that connector chain, if it's at its full length, well, then all of the weighted chains are going to be on the floor at the start. So I have to shorten that connector chain. So you have to shorten the connector chain based on whatever lift you're doing, okay? So the way I do it is I just keep the same connector chain and I link it around the bar for 3 links. And then on the deadlift, you really have to shorten it up because you're basically starting at the floor. So I shorten that up to like 6 links, right? And that's basically how I adjust the connector chain for the different lifts. Now, let's talk about sets, reps, weight, etc. I like to use a program called a 3-2-1 chain overload. And what this is a 3-week program. It is very heavy. It looks like this. Okay. The weights throughout the entire program are actually the same. It's just the ratio of bar weight to chain weight changes. So, week number 1. 102.5% of your 1 rep max. This is in all the lifts, the squat, the bench press, the deadlift, and the overhead press I do it for too. 102.5% of your 1 rep max. Get that number. Now, week 1, 70% bar weight, 30% chain weight. Okay? 2 sets of 3 repetitions. And that's across the board for all the lifts, okay? Week 2, same weight. The weight doesn't change through the program. 102.5% of your 1 rep max, 80% on the bar, 20% in chains. 2 sets of 2 repetitions. Week 3, 102.5% of your 1 rep max, that number, take it, 90% bar weight, 10% chain weight, 2 sets of 1 repetition. You can see that all you're doing is you're taking the chain weight of what would be basically alleviated from you lifting it when it's on the floor, and you're transferring it over to the bar weight. So you're taking more of the weight and transferring it to the actual lift itself and eliminating the chains. And that's all this method really does, is it acclimates your central nervous system and your tissues to get stronger by gradually doing progressive overload. It's just another form of progressive overload, right? So that's how you use the chains, really simple. And then as far as strength accessories, I'm really simple with this on this particular program. I'll do 3 sets of 5 of agonist, antagonist. So like on bench day, 3 sets of 5 of flat dumbbell presses, 3 sets of 5 of bent over rows or something like that, okay? And then I'll finish with like a 100 rep blood flow finisher. But that's it. That's all you need to do. I've done this several times, seen great results with myself, great results with my clients. Try it out. Let me know how it works for you. Get the bar math right. Get the height of those chains correct, and stay strong and free.